Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I am because we're back to film another video and I have a mini mic now, so hopefully the audio is better. Today we are going to be talking about the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Um, this actually might not even be 25 books, but it was kind of hard to come up with a list that wasn't just like straight from my Goodreads, but like 25 books that I like really want to read. Like these are the books that like if I end 2025 without reading these books, I feel like I'll explode. Does that make sense? Anyway, I have my laptop here because we have a lot of books that I don't own, but we're gonna actually start with the books that I do own that I really like need to finish this year. Fun fact about me, I have yet to complete a series that isn't a duology. Either because I don't like the first book enough to buy the second book, or I just forget. But also, I've just never been into series, but the past year I really did get into series. But this year, I would really like to finish the Covenant series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've already read Half Blood, and I'm actually reading Pure right now, and I have Deity. There's two more books, so hopefully, I actually finish this series this year. But look at the pretty edges. Yes, this is just your typical YA fantasy. 17-year-old girl is the key to all of our problems. This is like Vampire Academy plus Percy Jackson. That's really all I can give you because any other explanation would take too long. But I would really love to finish a series. And I guess on this list also is Breaking Dawn. I just finished Eclipse not too long ago. So if I read Breaking Dawn, see, it won't even actually be done because there's Midnight Sun. You see what I'm saying? Like, I read books and I'm like, okay, I feel good about this. Like, I'm done. They keep adding more books. The Cruel Prince series, they added Stolen Heir. What is it? Inheritance Games? There's like 5 million more books after the first three. I'm done, okay? Next, we have a book that I have owned. I'm going on the third year. I think this is the third year that I've owned this book. Secret History by Donna Tartt. I know everyone and their mother that has read this really loved it. And I've also heard that it's not even as like dense as you think it is. It's just 5 million pages long. And I can't even say anything because I've read A Little Life. Like I've read a book longer than this. But I don't know what it is. It's just every time I go to pick it up, I put it back down. So I've decided that if this book does not get finished this year, it's going to a new home because I think owning a book for 3 years without finishing it is actually insane. I know a lot of people do that, but there's a limit, guys, because it's like after a certain amount of time, are you even excited anymore? Honestly, I'm not, but I want to know why this is considered like a modern classic. So those are the books that I own that I'm excited about, but now we're going to get into the new releases for 2025 that I must have. The first book that I am so excited to read is Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. If you haven't watched my all the books that I read in 2024 tier ranking video, you should go back and watch that. But I think I mentioned that Julie Soto is like my new auto buy author, and I don't know if you can tell by the cover, but it's basically a Dramini fantasy. Actually, it is. I think it's literally based off of a Dramini fanfic she wrote that I read and I ate up. So having it physically in my hand, because I am not a bookbinder. I know the girlies love to bind their fanfics. You will not catch me doing that. Captured as her castle is overrun by the enemy, Brioni, her Rosewood, I'm just gonna call her Hermione, I don't care, knows that the world as she knows it is changed forever. The dark forces have won and her people face imminent servitude, imprisonment, or death. Stripped of her magic and her freedom, Hermione and the other survivors are quickly sold off to the highest bidders in an auction. And as an Evermore's princess, she fetches the highest price. And Tovin Hurst basically buys her. I I am a Hermione stan to my core, so I will be eating this book up. We have another auto by author for me at this point. I love Queen Abby Jimenez. She's coming out with Say You'll Remember Me. This is part of her, what is it? Part of Your World? It's literally right here. Her little Part of Your World interconnected standalone series. I loved Just for the Summer. I loved Yours Truly. I plan on reading Part of Your World. So I definitely want to read Part of Your World before I read Say You'll Remember Me. But I don't even know when this book is coming out, actually. This book is coming out April 1st, which is interesting. Why on April Fool's Day? Abby Jimenez loves her characters have insane family issues, and I eat it up every time. Girl has family issues, and she meets this guy who's a veterinarian, and they seem to get off on the wrong foot, but then they realize, like, we have really amazing chemistry, but I can't be with you, my family issues. I'm gonna eat it up every time, I don't care. Another auto by author for me, Ali Hazelwood, is coming out with Deep End, which is a college swim romance. Silly. This comes out February 4th. Ooh, guys, February TBR about to go crazy. This is about Scarlett, who is a junior at Stanford, and blah blah. She has an injury that almost ruined her career. I I just think that when a sports romance is like, oh, I have an injury, like, I don't know, it just makes me laugh. It's not funny, but it is. And then we have swim captain, world champion, all around aquatics golden boy, Lucas, what? Blom, Blom, Blomqvist? I have to look this up. What?
Blomqvist.
Bloom, what?
Blomqvist.
Bloomqvist. Okay, I wasn't that far off. Anyway, I love Ali Hazelwood. I have read all of her romance books that are not the novellas and not her YA one. So this one is no different. Next, we have one that I'm a little nervous for because the book before this was not, I wouldn't say it wasn't good, but it was a book. Fearless by Lauren Roberts, the third book in her Powerless trilogy, is coming out this year. It is also coming out in April. I absolutely loved Powerless. I tabbed it a lot. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, I just open it and read some of the quotes that I love from this book. Reckless has none. This was very obviously a filler book. Like, she was like, I just need to move the plot just enough to get to the third book because, like, nothing happened, guys. Literally nothing happened in this book. Yeah, so I will be reading, unfortunately, because because the ending of, what is it? I just had it in my hand. The ending of Reckless was just so stupid. I'm just like, I need you to redeem yourself. And so Fearless will be read. This next one is from another author that I really enjoy, but I really don't know if I'm actually going to buy this book. Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I don't know what it is, but the synopsis doesn't do anything for me. It seems to be Grumpy Sunshine. They're both writers and they are like competing to write the biography for this lady. I don't know, Margaret. But I don't know. I just like don't care. Like, reading it, I feel absolutely nothing. Next, I have never read anything from this author. I haven't read any books in this series. However, it did pique my interest. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage from the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I tried one book from El- Elsie Silver's, what is it called? I don't know what that series is. It did happen to be the least cowboy book in the series, but I have decided to not read that series at all. So when I saw this one, I was like, this one actually looks pretty good. This one's also coming out in April. Everybody's just having books come out in April, okay? This one is actually so similar to the one that I read. I read Powerless by Elsie Silver, and this one is Camille's groom doesn't show up to the wedding, and then she ends up having to live next to the guy that she's been obsessed with since high school. That's like basically the plot of Powerless. I think her wedding just doesn't happen, and then she ends up running off with the guy that she's been in love with since she was a child. Maybe I shouldn't read this. don't care, it's on the list. The last new release that I have on my list here is Good Girl by Aria Aber. I have never heard of this author before. I saw this book in someone's like new releases they're excited for video, and this one just sounded really interesting. It's about this girl whose parents are Afghan refugees, and she lives in Berlin, and she is like really big into nightclubs, and I think she's an artist. But it just seems to be like a really cool coming of age story, and it seems to have some queer themes in it as well. So I'm really excited for this because I read You Exist Too Much, which not similar, but like also got like queer kind of coming of age vibes in it. So I'm really excited because I'm trying to read more. I guess I'm trying to read more fiction, but like obviously I don't want to read any boring fiction. I want to read more like queer stories or like people like not in America, like, that is the last new release that I want to read, but these next books are just ones that I just am so like I have to hold myself back from buying literally all of these books every time that I go into Barnes and Noble. I really want to read Play Along by Liz Tom Ford in the Windy City series. I read Caught Up, which I really enjoyed. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And this is about the main guy's brother. Yeah, he was really fun in the first book, so I'm really intrigued. This one is about him and the trainer that he was like always flirting with in the other book. So, yeah. I had so much fun with Caught Up. I don't care about the other two books. I just want to try Play Along, and that's all I need. This next book is a little ambitious, and honestly, it's really not even my vibe, but I am nothing if not a follower, and I just think that if I read Poppy War this year, somehow it's going to make me a better person. I don't really know. Poppy War is described as an epic historical military fantasy inspired by the bloody history of China's 20th century, filled with treachery and magic. It sounds really good. I know that there's 3 books, so I'm I've just heard that this is like very emotionally damaging. So I'm like scared, but it sounds really good. And I'm trying to get more into like adult fantasies. Like I read a lot of YA fantasies. I just do. I know I just said I want to read more adult fantasy. However, Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli, it sounds too good and I must have it. I know this is called Crimson Moth in the UK, but I guess it's just called the Crimson Moth duology. I don't really know. I know the second book is coming out this year, so I would like to read Heartless Hunter before that comes out so I can decide if I want to read the second book this year. But I know this is about a witch who kind of pretends to be this socialite and kind of doesn't like care about anything or is like not super smart or whatever because she is hiding or like trying to trick this witch hunter, and they kind of like fall for each other, and I don't think and I'm pretty sure they just don't realize who they are. They have to work together for, I don't know. Moral of the story is I heard enemies to lovers, and I've just heard nothing but good things about it. I don't really read stuff about witches, so this should be fun. I randomly picked up this book at Walmart, but I literally was so excited because it has dragons. This is Rogue King in Inferno Rising. This is about this girl who I don't even know. I can't really tell what her thing is, but there's this dragon shifter that's after her. So, yeah, I want it bad. I have been searching for a book with dragons in it ever since Fourth Wing that isn't like that huge Priory of the Orange Tree book. I think When the Moon Hatched, huge, insane. I'm not reading all that. So I was like, you know what? I want a dragon book that's not going to take me 5 million years to complete and not going to have 5 million freaking books. I think this one's 4. It better be 4 because I just can't. I don't know if this is in stores. I don't think it is. I think I have to order it online. So hopefully, if I wait long enough, it will be in stores. But Nocticadia by Carrie Lake, I have heard nothing but good things about this book. It literally, I've heard so many good things that when people compared Gothicana to it, I went and bought Gothicana because I just want to feel close to Nocticadia. This is about this girl whose mother dies from a mysterious disease, and she gets invited, or she either like just goes or gets invited to this university that is specifically studying the disease that her mom died from. And it's like professor student. Sorry, I eat that trope up, unfortunately. Next, we have just regular schmegular romance, The X Vows by Jessica Joyce. I read Forget Me Not last year, and I'm craving another romance that occurs in a wedding, and this one is that. This one, the main girl and guy are the best man and I think like bridesmaid or something for their friend, and they are exes. So she's like has to get along with him for the sake of their friend getting married. And yeah, that's all I need. I don't need to read anything else. I'm gonna read this book this year, trust. Another romantasy that I want to read is Phantasma. I really regret not getting this when I had a Book of the Month subscription, but here we are. And it's okay because it's on paperback now. So I can go get this. But I have to read these first. Um, Goodreads describes this as Caraval meets Throne of the Fallen in this spicy dark romantasy. Okay, I haven't read either of those, so fun. The main girl's mother is like brutally murdered, which why do none of these girls have mothers? All of these books, all of these why are the moms dead? Can we not have just a fantasy where the mom is happy and living her life? I don't understand. And her sister like joins, I think her sister like tries to join the games, but to save her sister, she joins the games called Phantasma. And that's really all I know, that there's these trials and it's a dark romantasy with a little bit of spice. This is a book that when I saw it, I was just like, I don't care. But I keep picking it up when I go to the store and I'm like, damn, I care. I really want to read Daydream by Hannah Grace. I really enjoyed Icebreaker. I understand the criticisms. I hear you. Unfortunately, I don't care. But I did not care about Wildfire. I had absolutely no interest in reading that. But I just really liked the cover of Daydream, and yeah, I was sold. This is about Henry, which I have no memory of, but apparently he's a fan favorite who gets help from this girl Hallie for one of his like really difficult classes. And well, of course, Hallie, she's just stuck in a book and she needs to live out in the real world and blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, so they're gonna fall in love and I'm gonna eat it up. The next book that I want to read, I feel like I also heard literally nothing but good things and kind of just like came out of nowhere. But Between Friends and Lovers by Shirlene Obuobi. This book sounds so good. This book is about Josephine, who is a doctor and she's also an influencer. So she makes like medical content, I guess. But she has a crush on this guy that she's known since childhood, and he like knows about the crush, but he sucks and he just kind of strings her along. And I think this other guy comes in, and so she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on this guy. But then her best friend is like, wait, like, no, like, don't do that. So it's not a love triangle. I know that people have been like, it seems that way, but it's not. But I think it's like mostly about just like friendship and just like boundaries, which like good for her. And the last book that I have on my list, I don't even know if this is 25 books. I kind of counted the Covenant series. I counted the Covenant series in that. So I think this is actually 25 books. But our very last book, Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, Out on a Limb was so cute. It was so good. I loved that book, and I really want to read another book by her. And Next of Kin sounds really good. This is about Chloe and Warren, who are both trying to get custody of their siblings, but they can't because of like their situations. So they start like, so I think they like start living together and so that they can both take care of their siblings or something like that. Anyway, it sounds amazing. Like I said, I love a good family problem romance. It's amazing. My legs are falling asleep, and thank God this video is over. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun looking at my Goodreads and just making this list. Hopefully I get to a lot of these books this year, but let me know if there are any books that you are really, really wanting to get to this year, any new releases that are fun and interesting. Yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video whenever that is. All right, bye.